I bought it at auction, got it home, and I noticed it had a lot of sparkle. It was sold to me as a cubic zirconia in silver. So it really had a lot of fire. So I got under a microscope and started noticing little symbols on the outside of the shank and did a little research into one of the marks, the dog head platinum, a French mark.
French Art Deco was a major design movement that emerged in France during the 20th century. It represented a shift away from the ornate, flowing curves of Art Nouveau toward geometric shapes, symmetry, and streamlined modernity. French Art Deco reflected the optimism of the post-World War I era, the fascination with technology, and the desire for luxury. Designers like Raymond Templier and major Parisian houses contributed iconic pieces that remained highly collectible. The ring was set in a platinum mounting, reflecting the high-quality metalwork and elegant design typical of early 20th century French jewelry.
Central stone, it's an unusual setting. There are small trapezoidal stones in a step fashion set all around the central stone. And it builds up like one big, large stone, but the play of light is a little odd because it's multiple stones, not a single stone. We tested it, we looked at it, we put it under the loupe, we used the diamond tester just to be sure. But in fact, it does test as diamond, not as CZ. What you have is a ring that looks like it's sort of 8 to 10 carats from the top, and it's as a diamond. In fact, in the center is a stone that's about 1.5, let's say a carat and a half, and a few more carats in the surrounding stones in a platinum mount. It's a style of ring that could be as early as 1920s, 1930s.
The piece beautifully illustrated the artistry, technical expertise, and enduring appeal of French platinum jewelry.
Retail setting, I would say conservative selling price would be in the $25,000 to $30,000 price range.
Amazing, amazing.
My husband gave it to me 10 years ago for our anniversary. I know it's 11 carats of sapphire, 5 carats of diamond, in a platinum setting, and it's marked Cartier.
Okay.
The piece bore the prestigious hallmark of the legendary French jewelry maison, Cartier. Cartier was one of the world's most renowned luxury jewelry houses, celebrated for its impeccable craftsmanship and timeless design. Founded in Paris in 1847 by Louis-François Cartier, the house quickly rose to international prominence. It became a favorite of royalty, aristocrats, and collectors worldwide. Throughout the 20th century, Cartier became known for its refined artistry and innovative gemstone settings. The particular piece presented here was a stunning platinum ring centered with an 11-carat pear-shaped Ceylon sapphire. Ceylon sapphires, originating from Sri Lanka, were historically known as Ceylon. They were prized for their exceptional clarity, luminous color, and light-reflecting brilliance. This remarkable piece beautifully reflected the enduring prestige that defined Cartier's legacy in fine jewelry.
I would say for auction purposes, you would be looking at an estimate of $40,000 to $60,000.
My gosh, I don't believe it.
It's
yeah, fantastic.
Over here, we've got a picture of
my husband's great-grandfather and grandmother.
And we can see on your husband's great-grandfather's pinky is the ring that we have in front of us.
My father-in-law had given this to us over 20 years ago. When he gave it to us, he said that that ring had belonged to my husband's great-grandfather and that the stone in it was gold that great-grandfather had mined. He was a miner in Grass Valley, California.
The piece was a golden quartz ring, dating to approximately the 1870s, 1880s, during the late California Gold Rush. The California Gold Rush began in 1848 with the discovery of gold at Sutter's Mill near Coloma, California. This event sparked one of the largest migrations in American history, as thousands of people rushed to California hoping to strike it rich. The ring was crafted from gold and featured a central section of gold in quartz. Gold in quartz was a naturally occurring combination of gold and quartz, where veins or specks of gold were embedded directly within the quartz crystal. Gold in quartz formed within solid rock, making it much rarer and highly prized by miners and collectors alike. Each piece of gold in quartz was unique, as the gold veins created distinctive patterns that could not be replicated. The piece beautifully captured the intersection of personal history and regional craftsmanship.
I think the collectors would be happy to pay about $1,900 for a ring like this with quartz and gold from the late California gold rush, the 1880s.
Well, that's great.
It belonged to my great aunt, and her husband was a congressman. They had no children, and he spoiled her with jewels.
He certainly did. Now, roughly, when was he a congressman? What years?
Mid to late 20s, so maybe 27.
Okay. The pieces held the hallmarks of early 20th century American jewelry craftsmanship and the Art Deco period. The American Art Deco movement, emerging in the 1920s and 1930s, reflected the optimism and cultural dynamism of post-World War I America. American Art Deco designs usually incorporated native motifs, stylized flora, and geometric abstraction. American Art Deco jewelers included J.E. Caldwell and Kosu, Black, Star and Frost, and Paulding Farnham at Tiffany. Art Deco designers paired diamonds, vivid gemstones, and platinum in striking geometric forms. These pieces united American craftsmanship with the refined modernity of the period. This distinctive ring, crafted around 1925, was believed to have been made by a skilled New York City jeweler, though no maker's mark was present.
These are large stones. The natural Burmese ruby comes from Burma. It's an old stone.
The collection also included a diamond necklace and ruby bracelet.
Now we get to the diamond and ruby bracelet. The ruby, the center stone, is 3.5 carats. You say she took some out?
Yes, 9 more. It was
9 more.
reduced in size to fit her
So
wrist.
that comes to a total of 31 rubies. Those weigh 27 carats. You have 70 baguette diamonds and 144 round diamonds. And that comes to close to 15 carats of diamonds. These rubies also are Burma quality. The small ones are a little better than the center one. The center one has a tiny bit of white in it.
This remarkable collection showcased the artistry, precision, and opulence of the Art Deco era.
The pendant is worth somewhere around $12,000. The 2 diamonds, they're off color. The ring with the fine ruby and the very, very white diamonds, that's roughly about $80,000. Wait, you haven't heard anything yet. Now, your rubies in here are magnificent. Your bracelet is worth $165,000.
I never thought it would be that much.
The 3 pieces together in today's market is worth somewhere about $257,000 in that area.
Wow.
This was my grandmother's, and my parents gave it to me probably 10 or 15 years ago.
Do you ever wear it?
Well, my family always asks me where's the ring? Mom, where's the ring? And I'll pull it out.
Yeah.
I don't wear it a whole lot.
Yeah.
It intimidates me.
It is a large stone. It's not a teeny tiny thing.
The piece was a dazzling vintage diamond ring, a true example of early 20th century American jewelry craftsmanship. During this era, American jewelers experimented boldly, mixing platinum, gold, and innovative cuts to create rings. Unlike European designs, which often emphasized delicate elegance, American pieces celebrated scale, sparkle, and technical ingenuity. This diamond, circa 1920-1930, weighed about 5 carats and featured a spready cut. This technique was popular in the U.S. because it made the stone look larger face up, creating maximum visual impact. Rings of this caliber were often worn by society women and passed down as family treasures.
Well, there is a little bit of color in the stone, and we would probably refer to it as like an M color stone. If you're familiar with the diamond grading on the GIA scale, it's probably about an M color, and it's very clean. It's like a VVS2, actually, which is really at the higher end of the grading, and that's really important right now.
This remarkable ring not only sparkled with brilliance, but also told a story of innovation, craftsmanship, and family legacy.
I would say that an insurance value that would be more appropriate would probably be about $65,000.
No way.
Yeah.
$65,000?
Yeah, it's a very, very...
No wonder I've been nervous wearing it.
Yeah, you should...
I should be nervous.
Well, I was fortunate to have inherited it from a wealthy Dutch aunt. I was born in Amsterdam, in Holland, and my parents were there during the Nazi occupation and decided for many reasons to immigrate to America. And so we came and lived in a converted barn in Connecticut, and during that time, my mother's younger sister came for a visit, decided to stay there. She ultimately met my father's boss, fell in love, and they were married in 1955. And before too long, they went back to Holland and invested in antiques, antique jewelry, paintings, porcelain. And when she died, I inherited some beautiful things.
The collection held the hallmark of mid-20th century Dutch craftsmanship in fine jewelry. Mid-20th century Dutch craftsmanship in fine jewelry reflected a fascinating blend of tradition and innovation. During this period, jewelers frequently used rose-cut diamonds set in silver backed with gold, a hallmark of Dutch craftsmanship. This combination allowed for both durability and brilliance, while keeping the look elegant and refined. Jewelry makers in the Netherlands also experimented with cultured pearls, which were still relatively new at the time. Collectors valued this period pieces not only for their gemstones, but also for their craftsmanship. The particular set included a necklace, bracelet, brooch, earrings, and a ring, all set with rose-cut diamonds in silver backed with gold.
Looking at these pieces closely, though, these are in the antique style. So these are actually not antique. These were done in the 1950s.
Oh, interesting.
So it corresponds with the history of when she was married.
Sure.
And when she emigrated to Holland.
Sure.
We also know this because in looking at the pieces, they have Dutch hallmarks on them that correspond to 1955. I particularly like the brooch. It's beautifully articulated, set with the rose-cut diamonds. It has a lot of life to it. And the corresponding bracelet, too, I think is really quite wonderful in the way that it really picks up the style of the 19th century in terms of that old antique style. These are cultured pearls, and these are very typical of the 1950s.
This remarkable collection beautifully reflected mid-century Dutch artistry.
I would say that in the current market, given the current conditions, I would put the insurance value at between $25,000 and $30,000.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my.
I paid $100 at a yard sale.
Did you know that it was gold?
Yes.
The piece held the hallmark of the esteemed Viennese jeweler and sculptor de Kolb. Eric de Kolb was a multifaceted artist and designer, born in Vienna in 1916. He became internationally known for his imaginative work in jewelry, sculpture, and visual art. De Kolb was known for his unique approach to jewelry, blending sculptural artistry with fine metals, a style characteristic of early 20th century Vienna. His work often featured intricate figurative designs, emphasizing both craftsmanship and artistic expression. The particular piece was identified as a gold ring featuring detailed sculptural figures along the sides. The remarkable work reflected de Kolb's mastery of form, design, and fine metalwork, making it rare and highly collectible.
I'm going to say in the market today, you're probably looking at $1,500.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
I was given the ring by my Aunt Margaret. She was a teenager when she got the ring. She showed horses, and Sarah Hines, who was the sister of H.J. Hines, asked her to show their horses for them. And since she was an amateur, she wasn't allowed to receive money. So after 1 year of showing, she was given this jade ring out of Sarah Hines's jade collection. She rode up until she was about 80 years old.
The piece held the hallmark of exquisite American Art Deco jewelry. American Art Deco jewelry flourished in the 1920s and 1930s during a period of rapid social, technological, and cultural change. Unlike European counterparts, which were heavily influenced by luxury, American Art Deco was shaped by a more democratic, urban sensibility. The style embraced innovation and rejected excessive ornamentation. Designers explored platinum and combinations of white gold, yellow gold, and occasionally silver to create visual contrast. Tiffany & Co., Marcus & Co., and Black Star & Frost were among the leading names producing high-quality pieces. The particular piece was identified as a jade and sapphire ring, mounted in platinum, featuring a central jade stone accented by carefully set sapphires.
Now it's mounted in platinum, which is a tough material, so it could stand wearing it even while horseback riding. And the box, I don't think it's the original box. You wouldn't have seen an American Art Deco ring in that box.
Oh. This remarkable ring reflected the enduring appeal of Art Deco design and the heritage of fine American jewelry.
I think today you're probably looking at $15,000 to $20,000 to have this ring replaced. And I think if you had to sell it to buy a horse at auction, you're probably in the $10,000 to $12,000 range today.
Wow, that's amazing.
I inherited it. It was my great aunt Hazel's. She brought it out of China in the 40s or 50s.
The piece was an exceptional example of Art Deco jewelry. Art Deco jewelry emerged in the 1920s and 1930s, celebrated for its geometric designs, clean lines, and luxurious materials. The movement was heavily influenced by the rapid industrialization of the era, modern art and architecture. Art Deco designers embraced symmetry, bold contrasts, and innovative use of gemstones, creating jewelry that was daring yet elegant. This period also saw the incorporation of exotic materials and cultural influences, including jade, onyx, and carved gemstones. Collectors consistently sought them for their blend of historical importance, artistry, and enduring style. The particular piece featured a 14-karat gold and diamond mounting combined with a recarved Chinese jadeite stone. Jadeite was one of the most prized gemstones in Chinese culture, celebrated for its vivid color, durability, and spiritual significance. In Chinese tradition, jadeite symbolized purity, protection, prosperity, and good fortune. The piece beautifully exemplified the fusion of cultures, craftsmanship, and enduring style that defined fine Art Deco jewelry.
At auction today, this ring would be worth in the $8,000 to $12,000 range.
Wow.
The diamond ring was made in the 1940s or early 1950s, reflecting the refined craftsmanship of mid-20th century fine jewelry. Platinum jewelry of this quality had long been prized for its strength, durability, and ability to showcase gemstones with maximum brilliance. By the early 20th century, platinum had become the preferred metal for fine jewelers because it showcased diamonds with maximum brilliance and crisp architectural lines. Diamonds themselves carried a deep and evolving cultural significance. For centuries, they had served as symbols of nobility, status, and spiritual protection, admired for their rarity and unmatched durability. The particular ring also featured 18 round, brilliant-cut diamonds encircling the band, weighing nearly 3 carats in total. The remarkable piece beautifully illustrated the enduring appeal and artistry of fine diamond jewelry.
A stone like this today at auction could be $150,000 to $200,000.
It is an engagement ring from my husband.
I hope you said yes, right?
Oh, yes, yes, I did.
Have you ever had the ring appraised before?
I have had the ring appraised, but the appraiser was uncertain about the actual price because of the origin. She was confusing it maybe with a Cartier and wasn't sure because of the markings. It was handed down from his great or grand Aunt Lottie.
The piece was an exceptional American engagement ring, crafted by lesser-known K&F Company and dating to circa 1920. This ring featured a 5-carat, fat pear-shaped diamond in an old European cut, set in a refined Art Deco mounting. Art Deco jewelry of the 1920s and 1930s embraced a striking new aesthetic defined by strong geometry, clean architectural lines. Today, Art Deco pieces are highly collectible, especially those in platinum with high-quality diamonds or rare gemstones. Renowned jewelry houses such as Cartier, Van Cleef & Arpels, Tiffany & Co., and Boucheron were major contributors to the style. While the ring lacked the signature of a major house like Cartier, its provenance, design, and artistry made it rare.
It's not a white stone, but it's not really yellow. So it's hovering between white and yellow,
Yes.
but reading much more yellow, but not yellow yellow.
Right.
But it makes that a very soft, sumptuous color. It's pale, it's alluring. It's almost like the woman in this
Yes.
photo.
This remarkable engagement ring beautifully embodied the elegance, sophistication, and enduring legacy of American Art Deco jewelry.
I think you're going to have to spend at least $55,000 to $65,000. I can't imagine.
This ring came from my great aunt Henrietta, and she traveled some. She was an artsy kind of person. She lived in Paris, France for a while, and you want to make kind of a story about the ring that maybe it came from Paris, but I don't know that for sure.
The piece was a French Art Nouveau ring, crafted in platinum and dating to circa 1910. Art Nouveau jewelry had been popular from the late 19th century to the early 20th century. It was celebrated for its flowing, organic lines, delicate craftsmanship, and inspiration from nature and the arts. Jewelers of the Art Nouveau period favored materials for their artistic effect rather than their intrinsic value. Pieces often featured enamel work, moonstones, opals, horn, carved glass, and semi-precious stones, all chosen for their color and translucency. Art Nouveau jewelry remained highly collectible because of its rarity, innovative techniques, and unmistakable aesthetic. This ring featured a natural button pearl, approximately 5 millimeters in size, surrounded by finely set diamonds.
It does seem to have a replace shank to it. The hoop would have been marked with the French platinum marks. It's got a natural pearl in the middle and diamonds.
Natural pearls of this quality were rare and highly valued. The ring beautifully embodied the elegance and artistic spirit of French Art Nouveau jewelry.
We would give it an auction estimate today of $2,500 to $3,500.
Oh my. Wow.
My grandfather, who died before I was born, bought it on the street in New York. Bought it, I heard from a refugee, somebody right after the war, and brought it to my grandmother, told my grandmother that it was a yellow diamond or a canary diamond. And my grandmother, when she gave it to me a few years ago, said that she had never had it appraised. She didn't know if it was in fact a diamond. She just really liked it and she wore it often.
And have you ever worn it?
No, it's not quite me, but I like it. I like to look at it in the box.
Art Deco jewelry emerged in the 1920s and 1930s, reflecting the modernist trends of the time. The style emphasized geometric shapes, symmetry, and clean lines, often inspired by architecture, industrial design, and ancient cultures, such as Egyptian motifs. Art Deco jewelry often showcased platinum and white gold settings, which allowed for intricate, precise stone placement. Calibre-cut gemstones and pavé settings were common, enhancing the architectural, seamless look that defined the era. Collectors valued Art Deco jewelry for its technical craftsmanship, timeless design, and visual boldness. The piece featured a 6-carat yellowish-brown diamond, also known as a cognac-colored diamond.
The mounting itself is Art Deco. We have in here some triangular cut diamonds, kite-shaped diamonds, and half-moon diamonds, which makes it really very interesting. They're very typical stones cut in the Art Deco time period, and it's surrounded by pavé-set diamonds right around the center diamond itself. Pavé-set diamond meaning set very close together.
The ring beautifully combined Art Deco artistry and historical provenance, making it a cherished and collectible heirloom.
Well, in the market today, this piece would bring approximately between $12,000 and $15,000.
Wow.
That's
great to know.
We should take it out and wear it at parties every once in a while.
You know, I think of her, and I never knew my grandfather, but it's a great story, so
yeah.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
I brought a set of jewelry that was given as an engagement gift by 6th great grandfather to the woman that he was marrying. He was a steamboat captain after he made his fortune in the lead mines of Galena, and she was a doctor.
This was a suite of engagement jewelry dating to the mid-19th century. During this period, engagement gifts were not limited to rings and often included jewelry such as bracelets or pins. Mid-19th century European jewelry reflected a blend of symbolism and evolving fashion shaped by the Romantic and early Victorian periods. Handwork and fine detailing were highly valued as jewelry was intended to be both personal and expressive. Gold was the dominant material, often paired with pearls, enamel, and gemstones set in refined yet restrained designs. During this era, jewelry was frequently created as coordinated suites that could be worn together or separately. The set included 2 small bar pins, a larger bar pin or brooch, and a gold bangle bracelet. What made this suite especially unusual was that the bracelet was also a concealed watch.
Now what we have here is a solid gold bangle bracelet. It's got a covered top that conceals or hides the watch. It's set with natural pearls and blue guilloche enamel. We open this bezel here, the watch comes out and it can be worn around the neck. Now, this was given to her 70 years before it became popular for anybody to wear a wristwatch. This is a key wind watch. It's made in Switzerland, and this looks exactly as the day he presented this to her.
This extraordinary suite beautifully captures the elegance and innovative design of mid-19th century European jewelry.
In a retail sale, I could see this whole suite, especially the watch, but all together bringing $15,000.
That's amazing.
It was my uncle's. He was a career Army officer. He enlisted at the beginning of World War II, and he stayed in until 1961. He loved this. He wore it a lot, and he never married, never had children, so it was part of his estate, and his sister gave me all of the jewelry that he had. So that's when this came to me.
The piece was a substantial jade cabochon ring set in 18-karat gold, originating from Asia, likely Japan or China. Jade had been a highly prized gemstone, valued for thousands of years across cultures, especially in China and Central Asia. It was celebrated not only for its beauty, but also for its cultural and spiritual significance. It was often associated with protection, prosperity, and good luck. Jade had been used in rings, bracelets, necklaces, pendants, and carvings. This ring featured a large, rich green jade stone, cut in a traditional cabochon style.
As you can see, this is a beautiful color. It's very rich green. It appears to be very even, and that's one of the ways we judge it. But if you put a light on it, it starts to show a little bit of areas of white coming through, which tells us it's not perfectly green, so it takes it out of the category of a gemstone.
Okay.
However, it is so large. We never see jade rings.
The ring beautifully combined exceptional craftsmanship, bold design, and historical provenance, making it a striking and collectible heirloom.
In the market today, I'm going to give you a range because it's very hard to pinpoint it because of the size. I would say you're looking at an auction evaluation of $60,000 to $80,000.
Wow, I think I'll have to raise my insurance rates.
And I thought of the jewelry that my mother-in-law had in the safe, and you've probably seen it more than I've seen it in the whole time I've been in the family, and I've been in the family over 35 years. So
oh my God.
She kept it in the safe, and the story on the necklace is that one of her great-grandfathers from England was a ship captain, and the story goes that he picked this necklace up in the late 1800s, early 1800s in either China or Japan. The ring was there, but she never really told me the whole story about the ring.
The collection consisted of 2 fascinating pieces, each carrying historical charm and exceptional craftsmanship. The first piece was a rock crystal bead necklace originating from early 20th century China. Rock crystal jewelry from China became especially popular during the 1920s. The artisans produced highly polished crystal beads fitted with delicate silver mounts. These necklaces were often hand-carved, hand-strung, and sometimes exported to Europe and America. The second piece was a 1920s Art Deco diamond ring set with a transitional cut diamond measuring just under 3 carats. The Art Deco era, spanning the 1920s to 1930s, was defined by bold geometry and architectural symmetry. Transitional cut diamonds were produced primarily between the 1910s and 1930s, making them especially common in Art Deco jewelry. They often featured high crowns, smaller tables, and a bright, balanced sparkle. Together, these remarkable pieces beautifully reflected both early 20th century Chinese craftsmanship and American Art Deco jewelry design.
The beads are about $1,500 to $2,000 as a retail price. And they used to bring a lot more, but they've come down, but still, it's fantastic. The diamond ring, a retail price on this, just for the stone, is probably about $28,000.
You have got to be kidding.
No. And I think the mounting, if you had to sell the mounting separately, that is probably a $3,000 mount. So basically, you've got something retail that's in the $32,000 range.
Good grief.
Well, it came to me through my godmother's daughter, who's now 93. And she and my mother were best of friends. She had no children, and this was her second husband's, first wife's, mother's jewelry.
That's a lot to keep track of.
It is.
The piece held the hallmark of the renowned American jeweler David Webb. David Webb was a highly influential New York-based jeweler, celebrated for his bold and exceptional craftsmanship. He founded his eponymous company in the mid-20th century. He quickly gained recognition for his innovative use of gemstones, contrasting metals and intricate textures that combined artistry with elegance. His jewelry often drew inspiration from nature, animals, and historical motifs, translating them into vibrant, sculptural creations. Over the decades, David Webb became famous for his signature designs, featuring striking combinations of rubies, diamonds, and gold. Webb jewelry was highly sought after by collectors for its craftsmanship, bold design, and rarity. The particular piece was a ring crafted between the late 1950s and early 1960s.
For starters, you are right. There are rubies in the center of the ring. They are surrounded by lovely, lovely diamonds, bright white stones. Then we see the gold, which has this amazing haystack sort of appeal to it. Along with the gold, the diamonds themselves are actually set in platinum. So you have rubies, diamonds, platinum, and 18-karat gold.
Wow.
The ring beautifully reflected the heritage, artistry, and enduring sophistication that defined David Webb's jewelry.
At auction would have an estimate of $8,000 to $12,000.
Really?
Yes. So it's a wonderful piece. It's in phenomenal condition, and it's been an absolute treat to see.
Thank you, Jill.
My father-in-law obtained the ring in the 70s, but he met the artist in 1960. And he actually acquired 4 to 5 pieces. They were wedding pieces. The lady was getting divorced and she wanted to trade them. And so my father-in-law did not like the rest of the pieces. And so he melted the other 4 of them down and he just kept this one.
The piece held the hallmark of the influential Modernist jeweler, Margaret de Pater. Margaret de Pater was a pioneering American designer and a key figure in the Modernist jewelry movement. She began her career in the 1930s in Berkeley, California, studying under the renowned artist and designer Laszlo Moholy-Nagy. De Pater was celebrated for her curvilinear forms, innovative use of gemstones, and exploration of transparency and light. De Pater's work helped elevate jewelry to fine art status, influencing generations of modern jewelers. Pieces by De Pater became highly collectible and were exhibited in museums such as the Smithsonian American Art Museum and the Metropolitan Museum of Art. The particular piece was a custom engagement ring and wedding band set created in the late 1950s to early 1960s.
Are a few diamonds, and this is a piece of smoky quartz. It's just a tablet of smoky quartz. And what she's done that's sort of beautiful here, the engagement ring and the wedding band nestle together.
Okay.
So we've got this very modernistic piece, and then the ring itself is stamped on the inside.
The ring beautifully reflected Margaret de Pata's innovative vision and masterful craftsmanship.
At auction, I would estimate this item between $4,000 and $5,000.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yes.
Oh. I brought my grandmother's engagement ring. I believe it was given to her in the 1920s, and she lived in New Jersey at the time, and I believe my grandfather bought it in New York.
The exquisite ring dated to the late 1920s, marking the transition between the Belle Époque and Art Deco periods. The Belle Époque period was known for its romantic, flowing designs with intricate scrollwork, floral motifs, and delicate mill-grain detailing. Jewelry from this era emphasized elegance, femininity, and meticulous hand craftsmanship. By contrast, the Art Deco period, emerging in the 1920s, celebrated geometric precision, symmetry, and bold, stylized designs. It was heavily influenced by modernist architecture, cubism, and ancient Egyptian and Aztec motifs, reflecting the post-World War I desire for innovation and luxury. This ring captured elements of both eras. The scrolling motifs and fine mill-grain echoed the Belle Époque. At the same time, the triangular geometric details hinted at the early Art Deco aesthetic.
It's a beautiful ring. It's mounted in platinum. Inside the ring, it does have a maker's mark, but it's not one that I could find, but I believe it was made in the U.S.
Okay.
You have to be careful. The center stone is a little bit loose.
A little bit loose, yeah.
So you have to get that repaired if you plan to wear it.
Yes.
The engagement ring beautifully illustrated the refinement, artistry, and enduring elegance of early 20th century American jewelry.
Let me tell you, if you were looking in a beautiful salon, you would find this for about $12,000.
Really? $12,000? Oh my gosh.
It belonged to my mother, and she bought it probably in the early 50s from Louisiana at a estate sale. She paid $1,000. And that's all I know.
The piece was an American ring set with a striking sapphire and diamonds, created in the early 1950s. The 1950s in the United States marked a resurgence of luxury jewelry following World War II. Jewelry from this era often combined classic European influences with modern American sensibilities. Jewelers combined traditional craftsmanship with modern sensibilities, creating pieces that were both wearable and luxurious. While influenced by European styles like Art Deco, American jewelers favored slightly softer, more practical designs. They often incorporated subtle mill-grain, scrollwork, or filigree details. The ring was crafted in at least 14-karat gold, with platinum settings surrounding the diamonds, highlighting the attention to detail.
We can see from the silkiness that it's also an unheated sapphire. Now, origin is very important with sapphires. Since 1951, sapphires have gone through several levels of popularity, and since 2011, sapphires have really hit the market and really taken off.
This extraordinary piece beautifully exemplified the artistry and gemstone quality that defined mid-20th century American jewelry.
A fair auction estimate is in the range of $30,000 to $40,000.
Oh my, how exciting.
My fiance at the time and I went to a little auction out in McGill, Nevada. It was in somebody's home, and somebody told me it came from a man that had come out and made it rich in the mining company and gave it to his wife, and it was dated 1846. But
I see you've got your receipt, which you paid $1,250 for it. That's not bad for an auction sale.
The piece held the hallmark of the esteemed American jeweler Marcus & Coase of New York. Marcus & Coase was a prominent firm active in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Marcus & Co. was founded in New York City in 1892 by Hermann Marcus and his sons, William and George. They were renowned for their exceptional craftsmanship, innovative designs, and use of high-quality materials. Marcus & Co. was especially admired for its Art Nouveau jewelry, where they used vibrant enamel work, floral motifs, and flowing organic lines. They also produced notable Edwardian and Art Deco pieces, often featuring platinum, old European-cut diamonds, and rich gemstones. Marcus & Co.'s jewelry became highly sought after by collectors for its rarity, craftsmanship, and strong design identity. The particular piece was an 18-karat gold tiara ring, featuring green enamel accents and several diamonds, executed in a pre-Art Nouveau style. The ring beautifully exemplified the artistry, craftsmanship, and timeless design.
And in today's market, you're talking about in the neighborhood of $6,000.
Well, good. Not bad for what I paid for it.
I was down there hunting for old bottles after they opened the dam up and the water level went down. And I started to dig in the embankment and the ring fell out of my hand.
The piece featured the delicate craftsmanship typical of American jewelry from the early 20th century. This period was known for refined metalwork and the rising popularity of white gold. During this era, American jewelers embraced elegant geometric lines, filigree, and hand-pierced designs. The designs reflected both the lingering influence of Edwardian taste and the emerging Art Deco movement. This particular ring exhibited this period style through its intricate open-work detailing and its use of a French-cut synthetic sapphire.
And the metal around it is white gold, done in beautiful piercing work. But it really is amazing that you found this walking along the river.
Well, I found about 40 rings altogether down
Really?
in the area. Most of them were silver and then I have a synthetic ruby. But this one I wasn't sure about.
A French-cut synthetic sapphire referred to a laboratory-grown sapphire fashioned in the French cut. Synthetic sapphires, though man-made, had the same optical, chemical, and physical properties as natural sapphires. The particular piece stood as a small but charming example of early 20th century American jewelry artistry.
At auction is worth between $150 and $250.
Okay, thank you.
So I think I'll go down by the river. Thank you so much for coming to the Antiques Roadshow.
Well, this ring is my inheritance from my parents. And the ring was actually bought at an estate sale back in the 40s or 50s by a couple that I considered surrogate grandparents. And when the wife of that couple died, my parents purchased it for $500 in the mid-70s.
This yellow diamond ring dated to approximately 1900-1910, exuding early 20th century American jewelry craftsmanship. Jewelry from this era often blended Edwardian refinement with emerging modern sensibilities, producing delicate designs. It was a time defined by elegance, precision, and a fascination with airy, lace-like metalwork. Designs from this period prioritized craftsmanship over mass production. Rings combining platinum with yellow gold were especially popular between 1900 and 1910. The centerpiece of this ring was an old European-cut diamond.
When you look into the center of the stone, you can see through it. But did they talk about the color?
I know that the center cut is a yellow diamond, and the other one said something very fancy.
Someone gave it a right. Well, you know, the second appraiser was more accurate in the cut and that he called it a fancy yellow. I would even go one step further and call it a fancy intense because it is a rich, rich yellow.
European style is distinguished by its round shape, tall crown, small table, and open coulette. The entire piece stood as a remarkable example of antique diamond jewelry.
Insurance replacement in the market today with a certificate would be over $60,000.
That's wonderful.
In the market. Without the certificate stating that it is natural, fancy, intense, you're at about $30,000. Big difference.
Yes.
It's a family piece. The stone was originally purchased at the World's Fair in San Francisco Bay at Treasure Island. and then it was set as a ring by Granite Brothers in San Francisco.
The piece held the hallmark of the respected San Francisco jeweler, Granite Brothers. Granite Brothers was a prominent jewelry house in San Francisco. They were known for their exquisite craftsmanship and custom designs during the early to mid-20th century. They specialized in setting high-quality gemstones in elegant platinum and diamond mounts. They were especially celebrated for their diamond engagement and wedding rings. Granite Brothers remained sought after by collectors and enthusiasts of Art Deco and vintage American jewelry. The particular piece was identified as a jade ring set in platinum and accented with diamonds.
That's beautiful. Well, in today's market, what's difficult is to find an antique setting that would complement a stone of this nature. And what's nice is we can date the stone to at least, you said, 1938, correct?
This remarkable ring exemplified the enduring appeal of natural jade and the fine craftsmanship of Granite Brothers.
At auction today, an auction is a fair market value. We would probably use an estimate of about $4,000 to $6,000.
Oh my.
Well, I brought my engagement ring, which was given to me about 35 years ago, I guess. My fiancé and I were trying to decide what kind of ring to get, and he very generously offered to take me to New York City. So we went to New York and went to meet an elderly gentleman who sold stones. And out of his safe, he brought many little packets of white paper and unrolled them all and showed me so many different things. And this is the stone I picked.
The piece featured a high-quality colored diamond acquired from a respected New York City dealer in the mid-1970s. Colored diamonds, particularly yellow diamonds, were highly prized for their rarity, intensity of color, and brilliance. Unlike traditional white diamonds, colored or fancy diamonds derive their hues from trace elements, nitrogen for yellow, boron for blue, and rare crystal changes for pink or red. The Gemological Institute of America certified the quality and grade of such stones, providing an essential benchmark for collectors and insurers. Beyond technical grading, colored diamonds had a fascinating history of rarity and allure, once reserved for royalty and high society. The particular piece was identified as a natural yellow diamond, weighing approximately 3.4 carats, cut in a modern, round, brilliant style.
It's a really beautiful color. I mean, the yellow color is really impressive. Our opinion was that it was easily fancy intense. There's a possibility it could grade fancy vivid. No guarantee. Okay. And the clarity of the stone is very nice.
Okay.
The cut of the stone is a modern, round, brilliant cut.
Oh, I see.
If it were to grade, again, a fancy intense or better.
This exceptional ring showcased both the beauty and rarity inherent in colored diamonds.
I could easily see this selling for about $140,000 to $160,000.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. I just can't even believe that.
It's a really beautiful stone.
This ring was once owned by my grandmother's first husband. His name was Harry Rich, and he was a magician and aerialist back in the teens and 20s. He actually died during the performance of one of his acts in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This was passed down through my grandmother and was worn by her second husband, actually, who had a son who's my father.
The piece held the hallmark of early 20th century American craftsmanship, set in platinum. Platinum became increasingly popular in fine jewelry in the early 1900s for its strength and durability. Its malleability allowed jewelers to create intricate, delicate settings that could securely hold larger gemstones. Unlike gold, platinum did not wear away easily, ensuring the longevity of finely crafted designs over generations. The particular piece was identified as a round, European-cut diamond, weighing just over 7 carats. Popular in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, European-cut diamonds were crafted to maximize sparkle, especially in platinum settings. The ring dated to the early 1920s and carried a rich provenance,
which was really just starting to be used in the early part of the 20th century.
It also is mounted in 8 prongs. A lot of times these rings are mounted in 4 prongs or 6 prongs. I would imagine it's 8 prongs, not just from an aesthetic view, but the ring was built for a man to wear. It's rather large and heavy.
The stunning piece blended masterful craftsmanship with the timeless beauty of American jewelry.
By a well-known lab, I would put it somewhere between, at auction, $60,000 to $80,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
It belonged to the Lee Meriwether estate, and my great-uncle was his publisher, and my great-aunt ran his house. They lived there. They lived on like the 3rd floor or 4th floor, I'm not sure. And so when they died, my grandmother inherited that estate. And when my grandmother was not at her home anymore, we went out there and went through her house. And my daughter-in-law said, I think I'm gonna look through those old purses. So there was a stack of black purses in the closet. She went through them and she found this ring.
The piece held the hallmark of early 20th century American jewelry craftsmanship. Jewelry was a statement of status, taste, and modernity among America's elite. Early 20th century American jewelry blended European elegance with distinctly American innovation. Jewelers embraced platinum, which allowed for intricate designs and durable settings. Designs from this period were influenced by architecture, nature, and the emerging machine age, reflecting geometric and industrial motifs. Houses like Tiffany & Co., Marcus & Co., and Black Star & Frost led the market with both technical skill and artistic vision. This period marked a shift toward modern aesthetics while maintaining traditional craftsmanship. This remarkable piece was set in yellow gold, reflecting the transitional styles of the 1920s. This diamond ring not only showcased fine early 20th century craftsmanship, but also preserved a rich family history.
I'm going to say in the market today, if you had to sell it, let's say in an auction venue, between $10,000 and $12,000.
Oh.
So I think something that was in a purse that's had this.
That's unbelievable.
They were my maternal grandmothers, and my grandfather worked on Wall Street in the 1950s and early 1960s, and occasionally he would, on his lunch break, go down to Fifth Avenue or Park Avenue and go window shopping and get my grandmother a lovely gift.
This remarkable collection showcased early to mid-20th century American jewelry. The first piece was identified as an Art Deco bow-form brooch dating to the 1920s, likely American-made. This period marked the height of the Art Deco movement. The era was characterized by bold geometric shapes, symmetry, and a fascination with modernity and the machine age. Jewelry from this era often combined elegance with innovative design, reflecting the optimism and glamour of the Roaring Twenties. The second piece was identified as an emerald ring, likely American-made, dating from the late 1930s to early 1940s.
Well, you know, it's very interesting. What's unusual about this emerald is that it is a clean emerald, because usually emeralds have many inclusions. And I don't think it's clean because your grandmother washed it. I think that it's clean because it probably comes from a mine in South America that produces a cleaner stone, like the Chivor mine from Colombia.
During this time, jewelry designs embraced both the refinement of earlier decades and the growing influence of streamlined modern forms. Emeralds and other colored gemstones gained popularity, adding elegance even during the Great Depression and pre-war era. The third piece was identified as a diamond ring, with an elongated, pointed shape accented by long, tapered baguette diamonds. Baguette diamonds were rectangular-shaped diamonds with step cuts featuring parallel facets arranged in a stair-step pattern. Baguette diamonds were valued for their precision and ability to complement other stones rather than overpower them. This remarkable collection highlighted both the quality of the gemstones and the discerning taste of the original collector.
So I'm going to give you the value of the bow brooch first. At wholesale or auction price, we would range it between $3,000 to $4,000.
All right.
The emerald in the same range, between $3,000 to $4,000.
Okay.
But of course the diamond I'm going to say $8,000 to $12,000.
Okay.
So I think your grandfather did some good shopping.
I think he did too. My grandmother would be thrilled if she knew.
Oh.
It's a collection of 3 rings that were passed down from my mother, who died about 4 years ago. I know very little about them, other than I did see my mother wearing the ruby, and I know that it used to be a man's ring that was worn by my grandfather, and then when my mother inherited it, she had it sized down so that she could wear it. The other 2 rings I never did see her wear. I suspect that they came from her mother, my grandmother, who married a gentleman who was in the shipping business in San Francisco. Okay. So I'm surmising that that's perhaps where they originated.
This collection was a blend of early to mid-20th century American jewelry craftsmanship. Mid-20th century American jewelry marked a moment when design, culture, and bold creativity came together. Jewelers were moving away from the ornate styles of earlier decades and embraced cleaner lines, modern forms, and playful contrasts. This was the era of Hollywood glamour, post-war optimism, and a new fascination with innovation. Major American houses such as Tiffany & Co., David Webb and Harry Winston shaped trends worldwide. Their designs celebrated individuality, luxury, and fearless creativity, making mid-20th century American jewelry one of the most exciting. The first piece was identified as a jadeite ring. The second piece was identified as a ruby ring, featuring a 3.5-carat center stone of exceptionally bright, intense red color. The third piece was identified as a diamond ring, set in an Art Deco style, likely from the 1920s. Together, the 3 rings showcased a family legacy while reflecting enduring American craftsmanship.
Collectively, all 3 rings, probably right around $60,000.
Oh.
I was in London in the 80s visiting my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law who were living there at the time. And I went to the street markets in London and found these pieces. I like things that are unusual and have character, and I thought these 3 pieces had a lot of character and were very unusual.
The collection consisted of 3 highly distinctive pieces, each reflecting remarkable craftsmanship. The first piece was identified as a Georgian family crest ring, dating to approximately 1750. Jewelry from the Georgian era was entirely handcrafted. It often featured repoussé work, intricate engraving, and symbolic motifs. Family crest rings in particular served as markers of lineage, identity, and social standing. The second piece was identified as a Stuart crystal slide, originating from the mid-17th century, circa 1650. Stuart crystal jewelry was created during and after the reign of the Stuart monarchs, often worn as sentimental or memorial tokens. These pieces typically showcased rock crystal panels encasing woven hair, miniature portraits, or royal emblems. The third piece was an 18th century ship model ring, showcasing an intricately carved miniature ship beneath a glass dome. Rings like this emerged during a period of extensive global exploration and maritime trade, reflecting nautical fascination. Such rings were extremely rare, capturing the adventurous spirit and artistic finesse of the 1700s. Together, the 3 pieces reflected a combination of masterful craftsmanship and enduring aesthetic appeal.
Today's retail market, this ring would bring approximately $4,500.
Oh my.
The Stuart crystal slide in the center, highly collectible, quite rare, and this one has a most detailed and unusual subject matter. This slide would be about $6,500.
Oh, really? Oh.
And the ship's model under glass, that's not crystal, that one's under glass.
Okay.
I've never quite seen another one. Ship's collectors are fierce. And that one I see at $7,500
Oh my goodness.
in retail for a collector.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
I inherited a box of jewelry, a lot of costume jewelry, and this was in it.
Did you have any idea if this was a costume piece or a real piece?
I was hoping it was real, but I
Okay.
didn't know.
The piece was crafted in luxurious platinum and dated to the mid-20th century, specifically the 1950s. Mid-20th century American jewelry was celebrated for its bold elegance, clean lines, and refined craftsmanship. This period followed the glamour of the 1930s and 40s and introduced designs centered around large, high-quality gemstones. By the 1950s, American jewelers worked extensively in platinum and white gold. The particular piece was identified as a 1950s platinum ring set with a large, fancy-colored marquise-cut diamond. The marquise-cut diamond was one of the most distinctive and romantic diamond shapes in fine jewelry. The cut dated back to the 18th century, when King Louis XV of France requested a diamond shape that resembled the lips of his mistress, the Marquise de Pompadour. This remarkable ring beautifully embodied bold sophistication and meticulous artistry.
At auction, an item like this would sell for between $40,000 and $60,000.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Is that what you expected to hear?
No.
No.
It was in some items that came from my great aunt, who was kind of a unique individual, and she loved to go to sales and collect stuff, and we loved her. She died when I was a teenager, and she left an apartment near the cathedral in St. Paul just full of stuff. And I took some of her things because a lot of people said it's just junk. And one of the things I took was an old sewing machine. It sat in my house for a long time, and in the drawer was like a muslin bag. It had pieces for the sewing machine in it. And we had a house fire, and the sewing machine had to be cleaned.
The piece held the hallmark of the prestigious French jewelry house, Cartier. Cartier was one of the world's most renowned luxury jewelry and watchmakers. Founded in Paris in 1847 by Louis-François Cartier, the brand quickly became famous for its sophisticated designs. Cartier was particularly famous for pioneering the Art Deco and tank watch designs. Over the years, Cartier became known as the jeweler of kings and the king of jewelers, serving royal families worldwide. The particular piece was identified as a pear-shaped Ceylon sapphire ring set in platinum.
The center stone is the largest stone we have here in the middle, and it's about approximately 2.50 carats. The side stones are about 1 carat each. That said, the inclusions in the stones in the center and on the side are pretty prominent. So it's probably like an SI2 to SI1 clarity, meaning slightly included to the first or the second power. The stone on to the right side of the center diamond is a little bit cleaner. The color of the diamonds are very good. It's probably like a GH on the GIA grading scale.
So that means they're whiter?
They're whiter, yes. It goes all the way down to Z, and it starts at D. Diamonds are on the rise, especially over the past year and a half.
The remarkable piece demonstrated Cartier's heritage and enduring reputation for creating timeless, luxurious jewelry.
I would say an auction estimate would be conservatively said at $30,000 to $50,000.
Wow, who knew? Laying in the bottom of the bay.
I actually inherited it for my birthday last year from my Aunt Libby, and she got it from her Aunt Libby, and she's from Leesburg, and she's had it in her family for a long time. And ever since I saw this piece of jewelry, I just thought it was the most beautiful thing. And since my Aunt Libby doesn't have kids, for my birthday, she gave it to me. So I was really excited.
Founded in New York in 1892 by Herman Marcus, Marcus & Co. quickly established itself as one of America's premier jewelry houses. Known for blending European-level craftsmanship with a distinctly American spirit of innovation, the firm was often mentioned in the same breath as Tiffany & Co. when it came to quality and prestige. By around 1925, jewelry design was in the midst of an important transition. The flowing, nature-inspired lines of Art Nouveau were giving way to the cleaner, more structured geometry of early Art Deco. During this moment of change, Marcus & Co. began incorporating opals into their designs, stones prized for their ethereal play of color, which created a beautiful contrast against the crisp lines and platinum or white gold settings popular at the time. This pin is a wonderful example of that approach. It features a high-quality natural opal chosen for its vivid color play, set into a refined white gold mounting that reflects 1920s fashion. Subtle transitional motifs hint at early Art Deco influence, while old mine-cut diamonds add both sparkle and a sense of continuity with earlier jewelry traditions. Pins like this were typically worn on lapels, scarves, or evening garments, serving as elegant accents rather than bold statements. Quiet signals of taste and sophistication. Altogether, this piece captures a moment when American jewelry houses confidently stood alongside Europe's finest, creating works that balanced innovation, refinement, and lasting beauty.
The ring up here, you wear it like this, with that ring on top. Technically, it was designed to be worn like that.
Really?
Something hang down, something like a freshwater pearl. You have a piece that if you had to rewrite that insurance appraisal today, you would have to rewrite it for $12,000.
Oh my goodness.
It's an important piece, and Marcus Jewelry, while it's always been good, more people are recognizing his genius.
Wow. It's my grandmother's ring that she bought in 1935. Her diary, I have an entry that she purchased it in Bangkok, Siam, which is now Thailand. But I don't know if that was the stone or the setting that she purchased then, because I also have some family lore that she maybe got it in Ceylon.
By the mid-1930s, Art Deco jewelry had fully come into its own. Designers were embracing clean geometry, perfect symmetry, and strong architectural forms, most often executed in platinum. By this point, platinum had become the metal of choice for fine jewelry, prized for its strength, durability, and bright white luster. At the same time, jewelers were increasingly sourcing sapphires from Thailand, then known as Siam. These stones were admired for their rich, velvety blue color and excellent durability, and they became a highly fashionable alternative to cashmere sapphires, which were already growing scarce. Rings from this era frequently feature Siamese sapphires, and this example is a classic illustration of that trend. The sapphire is cut in a crisp emerald cut, a shape chosen to emphasize depth of color and clarity, while the platinum setting allows for a design that feels both delicate and structurally strong. The pairing of platinum and sapphire creates a bold yet refined contrast, elegant enough for evening wear, yet perfectly suited to daytime sophistication. Interestingly, unlike many Art Deco rings that showcase geometric diamond accents such as baguette or calibre-cut stones, this piece relies solely on proportion and symmetry. The clean, balanced layout reflects the precision and confidence of mature Art Deco design without additional ornamentation. Today, rings like this are highly collectible, serving as elegant reminders of a period when jewelry seamlessly combined global sourcing, modern aesthetics, and exceptional craftsmanship.
Now, of course, values change by country of origin. Without a country of origin certificate, I cannot tell you really what country it came from, but let's just say it's Ceylon.
Okay.
If it's a Ceylon, it's worth at least $10,000 a carat. If it's a Burma, it's worth $20,000 a carat. Now, if you hit the jackpot and it's a cashmere, you're looking at $50,000 a carat. So this ring, the lowest value at auction is $150,000 to $250,000.
Oh my gosh.
If it's a Burma, you're at $300,000. If it's a cashmere, you're at $750,000. So, are you wearing it?
I guess I would have to have a very special occasion to
Yeah.
put that on, but wow.
And once we can determine the country of origin, then you could have it insured.
Yeah.
And then worn or not.
Gotcha.
Well,
I bought it at an estate tag sale.
Okay.
And I ended up paying full price for it, but I don't remember how much it was.
Oh, darn it. I always like to know what you paid for something. It's very cool. What do you know about it?
I know that the lover's eye ring started when King George IV, before he was king.
The tradition of lover's eye jewelry originated in late 18th century Britain and is most famously linked to Prince George, who is said to have commissioned a miniature painting of the eye of his forbidden lover, Maria Fitzherbert. The motif quickly gained popularity among the aristocracy as a discreet and intimate token of affection. By depicting only the eye rather than a full portrait, these jewels preserved the wearer's anonymity while symbolizing devotion, constant watchfulness, and emotional intimacy. As Victorian tastes evolved, there was a renewed fascination with sentimental and historic styles, prompting the creation of reproduction lover's eye jewelry like this ring during the 19th century. In this ring, the finely painted eye miniature, executed on ivory, is framed by a delicate surround of pearls, reinforcing the piece's romantic symbolism. Lover's eye rings were worn as deeply personal objects, often exchanged privately rather than displayed openly. Although a later reproduction, this ring remains an evocative artifact, capturing the enduring power of the gaze as a symbol of love, memory, and connection across centuries.
They're having sort of a renaissance in popularity today with shows like Bridgerton, where they've incorporated lover's eye pins in the show. Even my husband has a lover's eye pin tattoo of my eye.
Oh my goodness.
But
that's amazing.
I know. So I love them. What is problematic about collecting them is that they're very easily faked. I think that's the case of what you have here.
Really?
So I would say, considering that I feel that it's in the style of a lover's eye pin, it's worth about $200 to $300.
Okay, thank you.
This is jewelry that I inherited from my mother. Sorry, I have a little laryngitis.
Quite all right.
And I believe she got them from her mother and her grandmother. She left Germany before the war, emigrated to Palestine and then the United States.
After the Second World War, jewelry design reflected a sense of optimism and benefited from advances in gemology. Diamond cutting was undergoing a pivotal transition. Older European and early brilliant cuts, prized for their depth and handcrafted character, were gradually giving way to mathematically optimized modern brilliance. The two matched transitional cut diamonds in the featured ring exemplify this shift, symbolizing partnership and balance. Typical of post-war design, the ring is set in platinum, valued for its strength and luminous coolness, with clean, streamlined mountings and minimal ornamentation. Looking back to the 1930s, when the accompanying brooch was created, Art Deco was evolving in response to cultural and economic change. The exuberance of the 1920s gave way to a more restrained, forward-looking aesthetic inspired by industrial design, aerodynamics, and modern transportation, from ocean liners and airplanes to radios and skyscrapers. This influence is evident in the brooch's flowing, elongated form, which suggests movement and speed, and in its curved, asymmetrical design, departing from rigid geometry. Its finely engineered platinum setting allows both lightness and precision, enabling the piece to sit dynamically on a lapel or shoulder, enhancing its sense of motion. Both the ring and the brooch remain highly collectible, capturing moments when jewelry looked not to the past, but to a streamlined modern future.
So the brooch, I would think it would be German or Austrian, and the ring, most likely American manufacture. The diamond ring, I would say for auction, you'd be looking at the $25,000 to $35,000 range.
Whoa.
The brooch, it's very unusual, and I wouldn't be surprised if we could expect in the $40,000 to $60,000 range at auction.
That's amazing.
It's a great piece.
That's amazing. I'm kind of speechless, voiceless, and speechless. That's amazing.
I brought in a box of jewelry from my grandmother that I got when she passed away back in 2020. We were in the hospital and she called me in and then she gave this to me before she died. She told me to put it up in somewhere safe, so I just put it in my closet and I kind of forgot about it. Until I heard I was going on the Antiques Roadshow, I wanted to bring it.
Is that when you told your parents?
Yes.
Jewelry design has evolved over centuries, but the 1960s marked a turning point, with pieces influenced by post-war optimism and modernist aesthetics. The 1970s embraced bohemian, artistic, and eclectic trends, reflecting social liberation, global influences, and cultural experimentation. By the 1980s, jewelry had become bolder and more opulent, mirroring the decade's fashion and cultural excess. The rings in this collection span these eras, featuring diamonds for brilliance, rubies and sapphires for luxury, citrine for warmth, natural pearls for elegance, and synthetic stones for color and accessibility. From classic solitaires to clusters, cocktail rings, and sculptural statement pieces, they traced the shift from mid-century minimalism to 1970s fluidity and 1980s extravagance. This collection demonstrates how jewelry mirrored societal trends, from post-war economic growth, fueling demand for personal adornment, to the growing acceptance of synthetic gemstones, which expanded creative possibilities. Today, these rings are valued not only for their materials, but as a chronicle of changing tastes, technological advances, and evolving design philosophies.
You have some rings, they're a little larger, like this one's amethyst. This one here is synthetic. It's a big stone. This one here is synthetic. This one here is synthetic. But the ring is still gold. 10 karat, 14 karat. There are some rings here that are manufactured in the United States. There are rings in there that are manufactured in China. There's a bunch of them, especially the smaller colored stones that would have been manufactured in Thailand. I would say overall they range anywhere from the mid-1960s through the mid-1980s.
That's old.
That's old. If I add up what's here is $15,000 to $25,000. It's a lot of money. Your grandmother loved jewelry, no doubt about it.
Yes, she has a lot.
There's more?
Yes, I have a lot more at home.
Is it still being hidden?
Yes.
This is my grandmother's ring, and she gave it to me in her will when she passed, and I don't know anything about it other than it's got a really big blue stone that I think is a lapis lazuli, so I wore it on my wedding day as my something blue. She was born around 1919, I think, and she worked on the New York Stock Exchange in the 1940s, and her mother-in-law was someone who worked with diamonds in New York City. So my great-grandmother might have had this ring and given it to my grandmother.
During the Art Deco period, jewelry design took a decisive turn away from the flowing, nature-inspired motifs of Art Nouveau and moved toward clean lines, bold contrasts, and strong architectural symmetry. Designers were no longer trying to imitate nature. They wanted impact. Color became a powerful tool. That's where lapis lazuli comes in. With its deep ultramarine blue, often flecked with natural gold pyrite, lapis was visually striking and perfectly suited to the deco aesthetic. It also tapped into the era's fascination with ancient civilizations, especially Egypt and Mesopotamia, an interest that exploded after the discovery of King Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922. Tiffany & Co. was at the forefront of this shift, treating lapis lazuli not as a secondary accent, but as a centerpiece worthy of fine jewelry. In this ring, the stone is precisely cut as a cabochon and set in platinum, creating that crisp, high-contrast look Art Deco is known for. Even more striking is the way Tiffany paired the lapis with diamonds on either side, emphasizing geometry, balance, and brilliance. It's a confident design, bold, modern, and unmistakably deco. For Tiffany clients of the period, rings like this represented a break from purely diamond-focused jewelry. They embraced color as a statement of individuality and modern taste. Today, pieces like this stand as powerful examples of how Tiffany & Co. fused ancient materials with cutting-edge design, creating jewelry that still feels timeless nearly a century later.
It's also set with some tiny rose-cut diamonds. Do you have any idea on the value?
I thought it was platinum, and I thought the diamonds might be real, so I thought maybe a few thousand. But
yeah, well, it's well worth that. I would say $5,000 to $7,000 auction estimate.
Wow.
So for insurance, it would be right around $8,000.
Wow.
It originally belonged to my great-grandmother who lived in Lincoln, Nebraska. My aunt ended up with it, and she unfortunately passed away, so then my dad got it, and then he passed it on to me about a year and a half, 2 years ago, right before he passed away.
Well, what we have in the center is an Australian opal.
Founded in New York in 1892, Marcus & Co. quickly earned a reputation as one of America's most prestigious jewelers, often rivaling the leading houses of Europe in both craftsmanship and design. Around 1900, jewelry aesthetics were shifting away from the heavy ornamentation of the Victorian era toward lighter, more refined forms that emphasized elegance, natural beauty, and subtle symbolism. During this period, opals, particularly rare and visually striking varieties, were highly fashionable. The late 19th century discovery and growing availability of Australian Boulder opal introduced jewelers like Marcus & Co. to stones prized for their vivid flashes of color set within a natural ironstone matrix. These opals were celebrated for their depth, individuality, and dramatic appearance. This ring features a natural boulder opal selected for its strong play of color and organic character, set in rich gold that enhances the stone's warm tonal qualities. What makes the piece especially compelling is the inherent uniqueness of Boulder opal. No two stones are alike, making rings such as this truly one-of-a-kind expressions of natural artistry. Today, the ring is valued as a distinctive artifact of turn-of-the-century jewelry, a period when rarity, craftsmanship, and the beauty of natural materials were paramount.
So you have a lot in your favor, a beautiful ring, a piece of artwork that's wearable, fantastic name, desirable period in time. At auction, you could anticipate an estimate of $8,000 to $10,000.
Oh my gosh. Really? Oh my goodness.
It's a fabulous jewel. This is a one-of-a-kind piece.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, I'm just kind of speechless right now.
If this were to be appraised for insurance purposes, you would probably be looking anywhere $25,000 to $30,000.
Oh no, really?
Yes.
My daddy bought this ring for my mom after she fell into the Arkansas River off of our houseboat. The Delta Queen was docking at the Island Harbor Marina in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and we were docking our houseboat, and Mama fell in and she couldn't swim, and the undercurrent pulled her under and she didn't come back up, and so we were all panicking and we thought she was drowning, and finally Daddy and my brothers jumped in and I jumped in and we found her. And we pulled her back up, and Daddy was so upset, he sold the houseboat the next day and bought this ring for my mother. And we used to always kid her saying, "Mama, you're wearing our houseboat." And we were just glad to have our mother safe and sound, you know.
By the mid-20th century, the world was slowly emerging from the shadow of World War II, and jewelry once again took on a powerful emotional role. It wasn't just about adornment. It became a symbol of hope, renewal, and continuity. Platinum, which had been largely restricted during the war for military use, returned to fine jewelry with renewed significance. Its cool strength and permanence resonated with a generation looking for stability after years of uncertainty. Jewelers favored platinum not only for its durability, but for the way it could hold diamonds with incredible precision, allowing light to move freely through the stones. You can see that beautifully in this ring, where the round, brilliant-cut diamonds gently graduate from the shoulders toward the larger central stone. Worn during a time of rebuilding and optimism, a ring like this meant more than simple elegance. It symbolized commitment, permanence, and belief in the future. Today, it stands as a quiet survivor of its era, carrying with it the story of a world beginning again and of beauty rediscovered through enduring craftsmanship.
The stone in the center is a very clean, brilliant cut diamond, almost 3.5 carats.
Wow.
It's also slightly fluorescent, so if we had a sunnier day than we had today, it would really pop. I'm calculating the carat weight of the size of the smaller stones between the round and the baguette cut stones at around 1.8 carats, or a carat 80. So the ring has a total carat weight above 5 carats. A retail value today for this ring is in the range of $60,000 to $70,000.
Jeez, oh, Peto. Wow. Man.
This ring belonged to my grandmother, and she passed away in 1981. Before that time, she was quite a fancy lady, loved to wear her rings and her blings, got her hair done every week, got her nails done, and put her rings on and went out. So when she passed away, I went through her closet, and in the pockets of her jackets, I found this ring wrapped in a little piece of tissue. She did not have a jewelry box, but she hid her rings and her jewelry in her closet on the clothes.
In the wake of the First World War, the 1920s brought a hunger for modern elegance and refined glamour. It was during this era that Art Deco jewelry came into its own, pieces that balanced tradition with bold, forward-looking design. This ring exemplifies that spirit. Its deep, richly colored sapphires are set off by the crisp sparkle of carefully cut diamonds, creating a striking interplay of color and light. Housed in platinum, the stones seem to float in perfect geometric harmony, reflecting the era's fascination with structure, symmetry, and precision. Every line and angle is deliberate, a reflection of a world eager to rebuild and embrace a confident, modern identity. This was a ring for a woman who welcomed the new century with style and sophistication, someone drawn to clarity of form, dramatic contrast, and the quiet luxury of exceptional craftsmanship. Today, it carries that story forward, a bridge between the ornate traditions of the past and the bold, enduring elegance that defined the Art Deco era.
And then you can see there are 2 lines here of channel set sapphires.
Wow, wow.
Now you can see someone definitely wore this ring because some of the sapphires are missing.
Yes.
It's not a difficult repair.
Yes.
It really doesn't affect the
Yes,
value of the ring that much. Above the stone on each side are these little tiny cutouts. So you're just kind of playing with that as well.
Yeah.
Your eye keeps moving. There's all these details. This is incredible attention to craftsmanship.
Wow, wow.
And it's not marked at all, so
No.
we don't know who made it. I would insure this at $25,000.
$25,000. Okay. Wow. Wow. That's a beautiful ring. $25,000. Okay. Wow. That's a beauty. Yeah. Gee whiz. Woo, Grandma. Thank you.
This ring belonged to my great-great-aunt, Florence, who lived in Cripple Creek, Colorado in the early 1890s for the gold rush. And as she grew up in Cripple Creek, I don't think there was a lot that women could do for a living. And she ended up working as a lady of the night. And the story in the family was that one of her quote-unquote boyfriends gave this to her when she was in business.
Jewelry design underwent a dramatic transformation in the early 20th century. The elaborate, lace-like patterns of the Edwardian era, platinum filigree and delicate craftsmanship gave way to simpler, sturdier forms set in gold. Diamonds remained central, symbolizing wealth and permanence, but designers began pairing them with yellow gold to create warmth, contrast, and a modern sensibility. This approach is clearly evident in this ring, where the diamonds are carefully set to maximize sparkle against the warm tones of the metal. Likely crafted in New York, London, or Paris, the ring reflects a global exchange of design ideas, blending refined European techniques with an emerging American preference for bold, wearable elegance. Today, rings like this are prized not only for their precious materials, but also for their role in the evolution of 20th century jewelry.
It's a wonderful thing. It was probably given to her around 1920. It's gold and it's got close to a carat full of diamonds in it. And it's worth between $1,500 and $2,000, and probably more if you add all of that wonderful history into it.
They belong to my husband's great aunt. She was very avant-garde and loved things and loved me because she gave them to me.
Well, it's nice to see that things get passed on to people who enjoy them.
Absolutely.
What is the name on the watches?
The name is Fato. All I know is from watching Roadshow is that he was a jeweler who made things for movie stars.
Paul Fato was one of the most imaginative and unconventional American jewelers of the 20th century. Working primarily from the 1930s through the 1950s in New York, he designed jewelry for clients who wanted something clever, glamorous, and completely unexpected. Hollywood stars, socialites, and collectors who valued personality over tradition. Fato didn't see watches as purely functional objects. To him, a watch was a jewel first, one that just happened to tell time. You can see that philosophy clearly in these pieces, with their playful shapes, convertible designs, and confident use of color. The variety is striking. One watch is shaped like a tiny purse, another is a ribbed 1940s bracelet watch set with calibrated sapphires. There's also a watch with steel straps wrapped in leather, along with a bold retro-era design featuring precisely calibrated sapphire settings. While Fato relied on high-quality Swiss movements for reliability, the real magic was in the cases and settings, where his wit, creativity, and fearless design sense truly shine. It's no surprise that his watches were worn by some of the most glamorous figures of the era, including Greta Garbo, Joan Crawford, Ginger Rogers, and Doris Duke. These pieces perfectly capture the spirit of mid-century luxury, where jewelry was meant to be expressive, theatrical, and unforgettable.
This is more what you would see today.
Right.
And then we get to the one that I love, very powerful 1940s retro watch. And we can see these beautifully calibrated sapphires set in the end.
Yes.
This watch alone is worth, at auction, $10,000 to $12,000.
Oh, my word.
And considerably more because it's his.
Yes, yes.
But when I put the whole collection together, you have 4 of them. At auction, $15,000 to $20,000.
Oh, my. That might almost send somebody, one of the grandchildren, to college.
I can't help noticing your ring.
Oh.
I asked you about it before.
Yes, you did. It came from the same woman.
Okay. You told me you had an appraisal on it.
For $35,000. That was when she gave it to me in '76.
Okay.
Yes.
I took a quick peek at it.
Okay.
I determined the color is probably EF, VS quality. It's an old mine cushion cut.
Right.
I got to tell you, in today's market, this ring would probably sell at auction for $200,000 to $250,000.
Oh. I better take it off and hide it.
So the watches are fabulous for me, but I just had to let you know about the diamond.
Well, I'm glad you did. That made my day, my year.
It's been in my family. I'm the 3rd generation to have it. And my grandfather gave it to my grandmother on her becoming a grandmother when I was born.
This ring dates to the 1920s, the Roaring Twenties, a period of cultural innovation, social liberation, and economic optimism following World War I. Crafted in platinum, the preferred metal for fine jewelry of the era, it combines strength, a silvery white sheen, and the ability to hold diamonds securely in intricate, delicate settings. The diamonds, cut to maximize brilliance and clarity in round, brilliant, old European and baguette shapes, are arranged in a bold, symmetrical pattern, reflecting the era's fascination with geometry and precision. Designers drew inspiration from architecture, machinery, and modern art, creating pieces that were both luxurious and forward-looking. This ring exemplifies the balance of elegance and modernity, crafted to complement the confident, fashionable women of the 1920s.
I gauged it at the table, and it's coming out to be at least 3 carats.
Oh my goodness.
And the side stones on it are probably about 1 carat each. So you have a total weight of about 5 carats in this ring. Do you have any idea of its value?
No, I really don't.
All right, well, a quick auction estimate is right around $15,000 to $20,000.
Oh, thank you so much.
Wear it in good health.
I will, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, we have here a ring that was originally purchased by my dad's boss for his first wife in the 1950s. Unfortunately, she passed away, and he gave it to his second wife. She chose to sell it, and she offered my parents the ring. My dad misunderstood the price, and so when she came to deliver the ring and pick up the check, my mother had already written the check, and the lady said, well, I'll go ahead and take that.
While colorless diamonds remained the benchmark of luxury in the mid-20th century, fancy-colored diamonds, especially yellow stones, began to attract attention for their warmth, rarity, and unmistakable presence. Thanks to advances in diamond cutting and grading, jewelers were now able to showcase the vivid hue of yellow diamonds more effectively, balancing brilliance with natural color, as seen in this ring. Both platinum and yellow gold were popular setting choices at the time, but here platinum was deliberately selected to create contrast, allowing the yellow diamond to appear even more luminous. The cluster-style setting draws the eye directly to the center stone, while the sculptural form reflects the refined elegance of mid-century jewelry design. To heighten sparkle and visual impact, the fancy yellow diamond is framed by small white accent diamonds, a classic pairing that enhances both brilliance and depth. For its original owner, a ring like this offered a subtle yet confident expression of individuality and sophistication. Today, fancy yellow diamond rings are prized for their rarity, craftsmanship, and enduring appeal.
And another thing is, these stones normally are not round. So to find one that's round is a little more unusual. We graded the clarity. It's at least VS2. There's a good chance it may be VS1. We hit it with the UV light. There's no fluorescence, which is also a good thing. I took a gauge and I measured the diameter of the diamond, which is 12.8 millimeters. And then I measured the depth, which is 7.8 millimeters. It comes up to 7.85 carats.
Wow.
But there is a good possibility that it's 8 carats. The ring is made out of 14-carat yellow gold on the bottom and platinum on top. It was most likely manufactured in the 1950s. With the base being 14-carat, I would say that it was manufactured in the United States. Any thoughts on what you think it may be worth today?
I know that the lady had mentioned at the time that she sold it to my mother, she was told it was worth about 80.
That would have been a big retail price.
Yes.
If it's just under 8 carats, this stone today is easy 80,000.
Okay.
I would say at auction, 80,000 to 120,000.
Wow. Oh, just the stone itself.
Just the stone. Now, if it's over 8 carats, all bets are off, and the ring could be 100,000 to 150,000.
Wow.
And that's at auction.
Do the diamonds around it add into the value of it?
Well, there's another carat of diamonds there. The fact of the matter is there's probably about $1,000 in the mounting.
Okay.
It's all about the diamond right now.
Right, okay.
It belonged to my great-grandmother, and I know it's probably from the 20s, and I know it says Tiffany and Company on the side.
This brown diamond ring dates to the 1920s, a moment when brown diamonds, long overlooked in earlier periods, began to attract the attention of avant-garde designers. Their smoky champagne and cognac hues aligned beautifully with the Art Deco aesthetic, which favored sophisticated earth tones alongside bold geometry and architectural clarity. Rather than competing with traditional white diamonds, brown diamonds offered a different kind of allure. Warmth instead of icy brilliance, depth instead of flash, and quiet refinement rather than overt display. Tiffany & Co. recognized the expressive potential of these stones and elevated them through precise cutting and thoughtfully balanced settings, demonstrating that true luxury could extend beyond conventional ideals of colorless perfection.
She had the diamond.
Oh.
If it was a Tiffany diamond that they sold it to her, they would sign it inside.
Okay.
The price on this one here in today's market is somewhere between $20,000 and $25,000.
Oh my God.
You wear it?
Never, no.
Oh, come on.
I'm terrified to lose it.
This is actually my great-grandmother's ring, and she gave it to me when I was 5 years old. We walked out of the house, and my parents immediately took it away from me. It had one of the side diamonds, missing from it, and so my mom actually had it fixed and gave it to me for my 18th birthday. When I was living on my own, I had actually been homeless once already, and I didn't want to do that again, and I wasn't going to be able to make rent. So I took everything that I had that had any kind of value. I took it to a pawn shop and I sold it outright. I didn't even pawn it, I sold it to them. When my husband and I met a while later, when he asked me to marry him, I said, I don't want a diamond. In fact, if you buy me a diamond, I'll leave you. And I didn't tell him why. And a couple years after we got married, I said, you know what? I lied. I do want a diamond, but there's only one diamond on the whole planet that I want, and it's the one that was our family heirloom. We went back to that pawn shop. I went back in there, and there it was. And so my husband bought it back for me, and it was 8 years later.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
That is like borderline miracle is what that is.
As Britain's king, Edward VII, reigned, platinum rings began appearing on fashionable hands. Jewelers moved away from heavy Victorian gold, embracing this cool, moonlit metal that allowed diamonds to shine with an intensity never seen before. But history never stands still. As the Edwardian era gave way to war and social change, ring designs evolved, soft curves sharpened, florals became more restrained, and the early geometry and symmetry of Art Deco quietly began to emerge. This ring captures that moment of transition where Edwardian elegance meets Art Deco boldness. Crafted in platinum and diamonds, it strikes a careful balance between flowing symmetry and crisp geometric detail. Though the maker's mark has been lost to time, the craftsmanship remains undeniable. At its center sits a striking old European-cut diamond, weighing just under half a carat, flanked by 2 rows of sparkling single-cut diamonds that contribute an additional half carat of fire and brilliance. Rooted in the Edwardian era and touched by Art Deco influence, this ring feels like a whispered conversation between 2 worlds. It speaks of beauty, innovation, and a period of reinvention that honored the past while stepping confidently into the future.
Everything was made out of gold, and it was probably made somewhere on the East Coast, New York possibly, a lot of jewelry manufacturers there. And so that would be my best guess. We don't know exactly who made that. And in the center, we have a full cut diamond, an old European cut diamond, and it weighs just short of a half of a carat. And on the sides, we have 2 rows of single cut diamonds. And there's probably about another half of carat diamonds on the side.
Okay.
In total. I think in today's market, to buy this at a retail store, you'd have to pay around $1,800.
Wow, that's a little bit more than we bought it back for.
It's a lot more than what you bought it back for, that's right.
And it's certainly more than I got for it. More importantly though, I would never get rid of this. I mean, it's just clearly meant to be mine.
My grandmother got married to my grandfather in 1935. My grandfather didn't have a lot of money, and it was just right in the heart of the Great Depression. And he gave her a very, very small diamond in a large ring. She always vowed that she would get a larger diamond. Her father passed, and she had a bit of money. She saved up money for years, and she went to a jeweler in New York City and wanted the biggest diamond that she could possibly get for the amount of money that she had. That's what it is. What she told me was she was terribly embarrassed by her wedding ring. The ring was so small she didn't want to show her friends. So she ended up getting this, but she never showed this to anyone either. So she was a very modest person, a wonderful person, one of my sheroes in life.
When did she
get this stone?
She got this sometime between the late 1950s and the early 1960s.
By the time the 1960s arrived, the diamond and platinum ring had already lived several lives. But this was the decade when it learned to move with confidence. The world was changing fast, old rules softened, fashion loosened its grip, and jewelry followed suit. Platinum, once reserved for delicate Edwardian lacework and formal Art Deco geometry, now embraced cleaner lines and bolder statements. Beneath the brilliance lay a quiet strength, a cool, modern metal suited to the ambitions of its time. This ring reflects that shift perfectly, crowned with a commanding diamond measuring slightly more than 3.5 carats. The diamond carries a gentle tint, subtle but noticeable, suggesting a K or L color grade. Yet its clarity tells a different story. Clean, confident, probably SI1 or SI2. Flanking it are emerald-cut side stones, smaller and restrained, set into a mount that reflects the straightforward design language of its time, in an era of motion and upheaval. A 1960 diamond and platinum ring anchored the present to the timeless. It is a symbol of beauty that would never fade.
So it's a nice stone. It's got a little color to it, but not a lot. We estimate the color is like a K or an L color. It's a pretty clean stone, so it's probably an SI1, SI2, something like that. It was just sort of very, slight visible inclusions. On the sides, you'll see that there's emerald cut diamonds. Each of them is sort of a relatively small carat weight, so that's not going to add a lot to the value. What they do add is a feeling of importance to the ring. It sort of enhances the whole piece. But most of the value is in the stone itself. We estimate that a retail value is probably at least $40,000.
What? Oh my gosh, I had no idea. I had no idea. This is the one big thing she wanted in life. And wow. I'm shocked, beyond shocked. Oh, she was so good to me and my mom. I can't believe it. It's like she's still up there looking out for us.
That was my mother's. She passed away a couple of years ago and I inherited her jewelry. My dad would have bought this for her probably in the early 60s.
It is a platinum ring. It is an eternity band. As far as the dating goes, it is a retro and it's very stylistically retro.
The eternity band has long symbolized everlasting love and continuity, with its uninterrupted circle of gemstones representing permanence and commitment. Gaining particular popularity in the mid-20th century, eternity bands became especially favored for anniversaries and meaningful milestones, valued for both their symbolism and refined elegance. By around 1960, platinum emerged as a preferred metal for fine jewelry of this kind. Its exceptional strength, durability, and naturally white sheen make it ideal for securing diamonds while allowing their brilliance to shine without distraction. The use of platinum in this ring clearly reflects the aesthetic and technical preferences of the era in which it is created. Diamonds also play a central role in eternity band designs during this period, as advances in cutting and setting techniques allow jewelers to achieve seamless rows of stones. This example features approximately 3 carats of VS quality diamonds, each carefully selected and precisely set to form a continuous band of sparkle. Many rings from this era are crafted without formal hallmarks or maker's marks, particularly when produced by small workshops or custom jewelers. This piece shares that characteristic, yet the absence of markings does not diminish its quality or appeal. Instead, the craftsmanship, materials, and design speak convincingly on their own. The precision of the diamond settings and the clean, balanced proportions highlight the high level of skill involved in creating a ring that is both visually striking and comfortable to wear. Each stone is positioned to enhance brilliance while maintaining the structural integrity required for everyday elegance. Overall, this diamond and platinum eternity band stands as a timeless expression of mid-century refinement. Combining enduring symbolism with fine materials and expert craftsmanship, it remains a beautiful and lasting testament to both love and design.
There is no marking on the inside, so it's impossible to tell where it was made. In today's market, if you had to have this made, you would pay about $8,000 to $10,000 to have something like this made.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah.
That is very exciting. About 20 years ago, my husband and I were in New Orleans, and I love the auction houses, and we happened to walk by, and I saw a baroness was having a bunch of her pieces being auctioned off. I saw that ring and I knew it was mine. And when I found out it was from a baroness, well, that even made it more special to me. And I decided before purchasing it to have an appraiser come and take a look at it. And they had a list of appraisers that would come to the shop and look. And the particular guy I chose decided he wanted to purchase it from the auction house right in front of me while he was there being paid by me to look at this ring.
Wow.
The auction house was pretty upset about it, and they told him he had to come the day of if he had any interest in it, but they were not going to just go ahead and sell it outright to him.
European-cut diamond rings trace their history to a time when diamonds were shaped entirely by hand, with cutters prioritizing depth, symmetry, and a soft, romantic brilliance rather than sharp flashes of light. Although the traditional European cut originates decades earlier, its visual language continues to influence fine jewelry well into the late 20th century. By around the year 2000, jewelry craftsmanship reflects a careful balance between advanced technology and traditional skill. Precision cutting tools allow for greater consistency and accuracy, while setters still rely on time-honored techniques to ensure durability and beauty. During this period, platinum remains the metal of choice for high-end rings, valued for its strength, purity, and ability to securely hold substantial stones. This particular ring exemplifies that level of craftsmanship through its thoughtfully constructed setting, which is designed to elevate the diamond and maximize light exposure. The workmanship is clean and deliberate, emphasizing balance and structural integrity while allowing the stone to remain the unmistakable focal point of the design. The diamond itself is graded VS2, indicating very slight inclusions that are difficult to detect and have minimal impact on brilliance. Weighing approximately 5.80 carats, the stone commands immediate presence while maintaining a high level of clarity, making it a standout example of fine jewelry from this era. In the present market, a diamond and platinum ring of this size and quality holds significant value. Large, well-graded stones set in platinum continue to attract strong demand among collectors and discerning buyers, particularly when paired with refined craftsmanship and a timeless aesthetic. Overall, this ring stands as a lasting expression of luxury, seamlessly combining historic inspiration with modern execution. Its enduring materials, elegant setting, and impressive diamond ensure that it remains both a valuable investment and a striking work of wearable art.
It was very difficult to find any type of inclusions in the stone, so we're going to call it a VS2, though I do believe it's a better quality stone.
Wow.
VS2 is what we feel comfortable at the moment calling it. So it's not insured. Okay.
Should I quit working in my garden with it?
I would say yes.
Okay.
Retail value on the diamond, we're looking at $130,000.
Oh, you're kidding me. Oh my gosh, really?
And the setting adds another $8,000.
That's unreal. I really got a good deal. I guess that's why the guy wanted to buy it out from under me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Very much.
I received it as part of an inheritance from an aunt who was the wife of a partner of Andrew Carnegie in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
So she had some nice things on it.
She was a very elegant person. I was drawn to it because it has so many different elements of it.
Van Cleef & Arpels traces its history to its founding in Paris in the early 20th century, quickly establishing itself as one of the most refined and innovative jewelry houses of its time. Renowned for exceptional craftsmanship, elegant design, and technical ingenuity, the Maison became a leader in creating jewels that balanced artistic beauty with practical wearability. Among its most celebrated creations are dress clips, which rose to prominence during the 1920s and 30s. These versatile jewels were designed to be worn singly or as a pair, often clipped to evening gowns, lapels, or belts. Van Cleef and Opal's elevated the form through meticulous stone setting, harmonious proportions, and refined materials, making dress clips both fashionable and highly collectible. This particular piece reflects an intriguing chapter in jewelry history through the practice of conversion. Originally created as a dress clip, it was later transformed into a brooch by the addition of a yellow gold circular element. Such adaptations became increasingly common during the 1940s, when evolving fashion trends encouraged jewelers to reimagine earlier pieces to suit new styles and modes of wear. The conversion carries important implications for the piece. Rather than diminishing its appeal, the thoughtful modification speaks to the adaptability and continued relevance of fine jewelry across decades. When executed with sensitivity and quality materials, conversions such as this preserve the integrity of the original design while extending the jewel's functionality. This brooch, therefore, represents both its original era and the later period that shaped its current form. It embodies the enduring elegance of Van Cleef and Arpels and illustrates how exceptional jewels can evolve gracefully over time, remaining desirable, wearable, and historically resonant across generations.
Amazing. Which today, what we would do is take it off, try to put it back as a dress clip. But if you like the way it looks, you're probably just going to leave it just the way it is.
I wore it into a jeweler's shop one day in New Haven, Connecticut, and the jeweler said, "That's a beautiful brooch." And he said, "It's very unusual. I've never seen anything like it." But that was the end of our conversation.
The signature is a driving force. This brooch, just the way it is, in its altered state, I would say if you had to go to public auction, we'd estimate it $5,000 to $7,000.
Wow.
Which is
that's
great.
Extraordinary.
If it was intact, probably $10,000 to $15,000.
No kidding.
So you've got a lot of value here.
Thank you.
My grandmother, when she passed away, left me all of her jewelry. I'm the only grandchild in the family, and she was quite a gal, and this was probably one of the most beautiful things that she left me.
And she was a model in New York?
She grew up in a farm in Weston, Connecticut, and then she went into New York, and at first she was a model for Stein & Blaine, and later on she became a buyer.
And who's the gentleman next to you?
And this is her husband. He was the manager of the Sherry Netherlands Hotel in about the 30s.
So they were very social.
Yes.
You know that this ring is made by Tiffany and Company.
Yes, I saw that printed.
Yeah.
Tiffany & Co. was founded in the 19th century by Charles Louis Tiffany, whose vision transformed the company into one of the most prestigious names in fine jewelry. From its earliest years, Tiffany set new standards for quality, design, and craftsmanship, earning an international reputation for elegance and innovation that has endured for generations. Throughout its history, Tiffany & Co. has been especially celebrated for its rings, which consistently combine refined design with exceptional gemstones. Whether embracing classical forms or introducing modern ideas, the house has demonstrated a remarkable ability to highlight the natural beauty of stones while maintaining balanced, timeless settings. This particular ring centers on a Ceylon star sapphire, a gemstone historically prized for its rarity and mystique. Sourced from what is now Sri Lanka, Ceylon sapphires have long been admired for their vivid color and clarity. Star sapphires are distinguished by a natural phenomenon known as asterism, caused by microscopic inclusions that create a star-like pattern on the surface of the stone. The blue sapphire in this ring is approximately 25 carats, an impressive size that enhances both its presence and rarity. It is set in platinum and accented with diamonds, a combination typical of the early 1920s and one that reflects Tiffany's mastery of both precious metals and gemstone placement. When light is directed onto the surface of the sapphire, the stone comes alive, revealing a luminous star that seems to glide across the gem. This enchanting effect gives the ring a sense of movement and depth, transforming it from a static object into a captivating visual experience. Overall, this ring stands as a remarkable example of Tiffany & Co.'s artistry during the early 20th century. Its rare gemstone, refined platinum setting, and mesmerizing optical effect ensure its place as both a historic treasure and a timeless work of jewelry art.
Many years ago, this size. Today, there's less and less of this size. This particular blue stone is roughly about 25 carats, and that's large.
Oh.
Men used to wear pinky rings with star sapphires, like this one here.
Yes.
See? But the ladies got jealous. And they said, why can't the women wear nice star sapphires? So Tiffany designed a ring for them. And it's all platinum, all diamonds. And if you notice, in the back here, it's all set with diamonds underneath. You don't even see it. Now, this is something that was done in the 20s, and it's being done again today, where you don't see the diamonds when you look at the ring from the top. Star sapphires have a chatoyance that becomes a six-pointed star. And how clear that star is, it makes the ring more valuable. It's blue, which is nice. And when you shine a light on it, when the sunlight hits it, you get a beautiful star. See? And since it is Tiffany, and since it is a deco period, all these things are pluses for it. A ring like that in today's market could easily be sold for somewhere in retail and $25,000 to $35,000.
Oh, that's wonderful. My children will be happy to know that.
What else did you inherit from them?
Well, I brought this bracelet and the necklace that I have on.
Now, I don't want to scare you, but when I saw the bracelet and when I saw the necklace, I'm going to tell you, my father was a jeweler in 1927.
I'm getting scared.
Okay? He made that necklace. When I saw that, I flipped.
Oh my God!
That's jade, carved jade, 18 karat yellow gold.
He made this?
My father made that.
This
and
is
my uncle, his
providential.
brother, made that bracelet. Your relatives had very, very good taste.
My grandmother saw it in a jewelry store window in San Francisco in the early 1920s or before, and she was quite taken with it, and she bought it. And she called it a poison dart ring, but apparently there are no darts involved.
How did she come to the idea that it's a poison dart ring?
It has a little hole in it through which apparently there used to be a button, but she thought that a dart would go in and you'd push down on the top of the ring, and that would shoot the dart into your enemy who you were shaking hands with. Well, she was told it was worn on the thumb, and she was told that Cellini made it for Queen Isabella. However, Queen Isabella died when Cellini was 4, so we don't quite believe that one.
Have you ever showed this to anybody, gotten any opinions?
I showed it to someone who thought that it was a Renaissance piece.
The Renaissance revival movement emerged in the 19th century as a renewed fascination with the art, symbolism, and craftsmanship of the European Renaissance. Collectors and designers looked back to the 15th and 16th centuries for inspiration, reviving ornate forms, mythological motifs, and richly symbolic jewelry that celebrated both history and imagination. Renaissance revival rings from this period reflect an extraordinary level of artistry, combining historical references with 19th century technical skill. Goldsmiths favored sculptural designs, vivid enamel work, and complex settings, often creating pieces that were as much miniature works of art as they were items of personal adornment. One of the most intriguing forms to reappear during this revival was the poison ring. Historically associated with secrecy, intrigue, and power, poison rings were designed with hidden compartments that could discreetly open. In the 19th century, these rings were less about practical use and more about romantic symbolism and historical storytelling. This particular example demonstrates exceptional craftsmanship and imagination. Fashioned in 18-karat gold, the ring is sculpted in the form of a salamander, a creature long associated with transformation and resilience. The ring opens, revealing its concealed compartment, a testament to the maker's technical precision and mechanical ingenuity. The artistry is further enhanced by richly applied enamel. Inside the ring, as well as beneath the exterior surface, blue and green enamel work adds depth, contrast, and vibrant color, echoing techniques admired during the Renaissance and revived with great skill in the 19th century. Adding to its brilliance, the ring is set with an array of period-appropriate diamonds, including rose-cut stones in round, triangular, and pear shapes, along with table-cut diamonds. These varied cuts reflect authentic Renaissance-inspired practices and contribute to the ring's textured sparkle and historic character. This Renaissance revival, Poison Ring stands as a captivating fusion of symbolism, craftsmanship, and historical inspiration. Its intricate design, hidden function, and luxurious materials make it a rare and evocative piece, embodying the romance and technical mastery that define the finest jewelry of its era.
I'm not sure that it's a thumb ring. I suspect it might be a gent's ring. Men in the 19th century wore more jewelry than in the 20th century. Or there's another possibility. Women would wear rings on the outside of their gloves. Do you have any idea now of what the material value of the piece was?
Someone told us that that the jewelry value, just the stones and the gold, was about $1,000.
It's because it's so exciting. It's such an interesting form. It's exotic. It's a wild animal.
Yeah,
people
really
like
fun.
wild animal jewelry. We feel that at auction, this ring would take an estimate in the range of $5,000 to $7,000.
Oh, really? Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
It's not for sale.
I brought a ring that was in my family for many years. My great-great-grandfather immigrated to Milwaukee in 1864. He was 19 years old. He was an apprentice jeweler. He started a family there, but then moved to Chicago, where he opened a jewelry store. He had that for many years, I don't know how long. And this was from his jewelry store. It was given to my grandmother, who in turn gave it to my aunt. Aunt Betty was very close with our family. She would come to our house in Michigan, and she came for Sunday dinner, and she gave this to me when she was ill, or was getting older. The story she told me was that Grandpa said these were a perfect match diamond, so I'd just like to find out what you think about that.
It's a lovely, lovely ring.
A perfect matched pair diamond ring represents one of the highest achievements in antique jewelry. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, collectors prize matched pairs for their symmetry, balance, and visual harmony, as finding two diamonds that align so closely in size, color, and brilliance is exceptionally rare. Around the year 1910, achieving such precision relies entirely on human skill. Diamonds are cut and evaluated by hand, without modern grading tools, requiring master craftsmen to depend on experience, judgment, and an expert eye to select stones that truly complement one another. This ring features old European cut diamonds, a hallmark of the era. These stones are known for their rounded profiles, deep proportions, and open cutlets, all of which create a soft, romantic glow that defines early 20th century diamond aesthetics. The balance of the pair is evident in their closely matched weights. One diamond weighs approximately 2 carats, while the other weighs about 2.05 carats, a near-perfect pairing that enhances the elegance and visual unity of the ring. In color, the diamonds fall within the H2I range, offering a gentle warmth that is highly characteristic of antique stones. This subtle tone works beautifully with the old European cut, adding depth and character rather than sharp brilliance. Overall, this matched pair diamond ring stands as a refined expression of early 20th century craftsmanship. Its harmonious proportions, period-correct cuts, and careful selection ensure it remains a timeless and highly desirable example of antique fine jewelry.
I would say this was made in the early 1900s.
Well, they're certainly cut like they were from the they could be from the early 1900s. The mounting looks a little later, so
Okay.
it probably was remounted at one time. Did you ever have this appraised?
No, I've never had it
No.
appraised.
If you had to venture a guess, what would you guess the valuation on the piece is?
We thought maybe a couple $1,000s.
Okay. Their diamond market is very strong right now. I would say that these two stones being matched, which also increases the value of the stones, because it's difficult to find two matching stones. You can go through thousands of stones trying to find two stones to match. These two stones in a retail situation today would easily be about $15,000 each, so you're looking at $30,000 for the two diamonds.
That's remarkable news. Lovely, lovely.
A little more than 2,000.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you so much.